It's my 25th year. It's the Big Ten's 118th football season, so I thought it was a good idea to get on campus to see the players, to see the coaches, and to just get a good up-close view of the preparation. So it's the players are energized, the coaches are energized, and we were at Indiana yesterday, Ohio State today, Penn State tomorrow, then Michigan State and Michigan. And so, I'm going to do it over the next couple weeks. I've got some Rose Bowl meetings out in California next week, but when I come back, I'll finish up the 12th.
This place was sort of in tumult a couple of years ago and stuff because of what happened. What's just your general impression of the program and where it's kind of come back in urban and stuff?
Well, I think this. I think Ohio State is not only stabilized, but is on a strong trajectory forward. The case was an unfortunate case. People made some mistakes, but what I was always so confident is the leadership at the institution. The president, the athletic director, the faculty, board of trustees did everything right. They reported what they knew when they knew it. There was no delay in that. Obviously, they accepted their sanctions, moved forward. They've got a new coach in Coach Meyer, who's, been successful every place he's been. He's from the state of Ohio, so the leadership there is powerful, and the Buckeyes, I'm sure, have high expectations for themselves. But that's why we play the games, and it's going to be just a great year. I think there's some great storylines. Braxton Miller, fabulous player, and he's surrounded by a great group of players. This is maybe the ultimate team sport, and so no single player, no single unit can be successful unless the whole group is. But it was great to be out here today. It was great to have an opportunity to address the team, and we're heading for Penn State in about a half hour. So,
what you say standing pat on expansion? You happy where you are?
We're really happy where we are. We're working full speed on integration for 2014 of Maryland and Rutgers. They're obviously chasing championships and trying to graduate kids this year, so they'll be totally focused on ACC and Big East. But we're working hard to build friendships and relationships in the East. I'll be spending a lot of time out there. It's a very high priority for us. We did I think a great job of integrating Nebraska, and I think we'll do well out in the Eastern Corridor. We have the commitment on the academic and athletic side to do it the way that we think is the right way. I think as far as academics and athletics, we're the gold standard. We pursue championships in every sport, including football and basketball. We've won 17 championships, national championships in different sports in the last 15 years. So we're directed at championships as far as the coaching is concerned, the recruiting is concerned. It happens at ground zero. It really doesn't happen in Chicago or even in Birmingham. It happens, here in Columbus. It happens at Michigan. It happens at Penn State. And I know that they're all geared to win championships. Sometimes you get on a run, and sometimes you get close and you don't get it. You take your hats off to those who do win. You respect them for what they've done, and you continue to chase the brass ring. I think that's what athletics is about.
Are you concerned, whatever? I mean, it seems like every other day you look up, there's something new in the paper about a scandal here or a thing going on there. I mean, what happened at LSU, which, Johnny Manziel's under investigation right now. Just what's your take on that?
My take on it is human nature probably hasn't changed very much. I think that the understanding and the coverage of human nature has changed dramatically. Maybe in the last 20 years, we went from sport that was local or regional to one that's national, one that had 3 networks covering it, and now it's got, all the major networks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And so I just think that people, individuals, young people and older people have to conform their conduct, because I think more and more is public, and really we're all human beings who make mistakes. I try not to judge because for the most part, as you know, we don't have the facts. What we have is a little bit of information on a lot of situations. It's sometimes a half inch deep and 4 miles wide. But I think you guys have a job to do, which is to cover things that are interesting for the public. The public is passionate about college football. It doesn't make a difference if the kids are 18, 19, or 20. They're still public figures. And so I think what we're really doing is seeing the convergence of a passionate fan base with uber coverage and human beings making mistakes. So I don't get too carried away with it. I think what we've really wrought is probably this college football is the second most popular sport in the country. It used to share space with NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey. NFL has been at the top of the heap for a long time. College football is continuing an upward trajectory, and there are a lot of people involved. I mean, there's 100 times 100. So there are a lot of young people, and I just think part of it is quite natural. And coaches I know do the best they can to coach them, to recruit them, to parent them, to discipline them when necessary. But there's an awful lot of information, quite honestly, that gets out prematurely and sometimes taints a player, and ultimately the player's not guilty of the offense. But that has to be worked through in a fair way by the institution, the team, and the coach, and we work at that.
Jim, do you think that a rules relaxation where there's some sort of stipend for players would help modify some of that human behavior that you talk about?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into the detail. I laid a 4-point plan at the Big Ten luncheon a few weeks ago. So I think a miscellaneous expense is helpful. Certainly, I think a long-term commitment to education by the institution to the player would be helpful. I think we need to think about the time demand issue, especially for at-risk students. So I'm for support of the player up to the cost of attendance. Beyond that, I'm not. I've said it many times. No need to say it again. Those issues will be sorted out by the courts and not by people in the NCAA, and ultimately Congress. We've got Title IX. We've got lawsuits in course in cases. I've got my position on it. I've stated it's been pretty consistent for the times I've been in intercollegiate athletics. I've been a beneficiary of an education that was meaningful. My father was. I see the 10,000 athletes in the Big Ten.
Jimmy, can the Big Ten ever get too big, or will you always be open to programs that could potentially make this conference better?
I mean, I would just say we're 100% focused on integrating Maryland and Rutgers. We always stay alert, but we're not active, and we haven't been active since we added Rutgers in Maryland. So, you know, what you do is we stayed at 11 members for 20 years. So obviously we weren't compelled to expand. We went to a 12th member. We even explored the relationship with the Pac-12 on the collaboration. It didn't work. Then expansion continued around as people came into our territory. Other people were on the fringes, and we thought that it was better for us to expand and to stay where we were. And I would just say, if you look at expansion in general over the 20-year period of Penn State, Nebraska, Rutgers, and Maryland, I think we're positioned quite well for the 21st century.
All right, thanks, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks.